So, usually the fight or flight response is put forward as the four F's. So, fight, flight, freeze, and fawn, being the four identified typologies of how people basically respond when they're in an activated, stressful situation. And the reason why I wanted to cover this is I actually have two additional ones. Pete Walker, if I remember correctly, Pete Walker is the originator of the original like four F's for the stress response. But there are two that I've identified that you theoretically could put under the freeze response. But I think they are uniquely different that they would deserve their own special category. So the ones that I personally would add would be sleep. So that'd be five. And then six would be laughter, hysterical laughter. So fight is pretty self-explanatory. Flight also self-explanatory, so people often think of like, oh, I either fight or I run away. The fawn response is when you are attempting to appease an abuser with the hopes that they won't um, continue to escalate or be aggressive against you. The freeze response is pretty interesting because victims can literally like lock up. And it's as if their body's been taken over. They can't seem to connect the thoughts that they're having to moving their body. It's a very, very base level of response that you see with like prey in the wild. And then sleep. Sleep is one I noticed because I would I've seen people who are in that elevated uh cortisol response, stress response, the hormones are going, and they get suddenly very, very tired. Like now they're yawning. And so then the abuser might be saying, you're not paying attention. So especially if you're a kid and suddenly the kid starts to be very, very tired. Or their go-to method is to go to sleep, and just sleep and sleep and sleep some more. Now the laughter one, I know that sounds weird, but that is one of the ones that has popped up for me personally. And I'm often laughing when I'm uncomfortable or something is even sad to me. When my brother would chase me around the he would chase me around the house. One time it was with a butcher knife. One time it was with an axe. And then one time, like he had his hands, at least this is what I remember. So there could be more, but I happen to remember, an incident. So there could be more than just the three that I'm mentioning, but I have memories of the three. And the third time was he was choking me. And every single one of those times I could not stop hysterically laughing. I have no idea. I have no idea where that comes from. But to me, I have been in fight, I have been in flight, I have been in freeze, I have been in fawn. I don't, I can't remember if I've ever like been very, very tired, or if that's one that I've observed. Um, but the hysterical laughter when someone's doing um very, very bad things. Or I'm deeply uncomfortable. And I don't think I'm unusual in this. Usually when you see it often with women dealing with men like on the street, where they feel maybe like they're in a predator prey situation. And the guy is doing something dominating, something the woman is uncomfortable with. You'll often see like nervous laughter or laughter. And so often these particular men that are being unsafe, being dominating, being aggressive, often, I mean, they know often that they're doing it, but they'll act like, oh, well, she was laughing. I thought that she was having fun. And, if you're a woman, 100% you've had or seen this response active. So I don't think it's something unique to me per se, although I have been perhaps more on the extreme end of things. But I just wanted to sort of outline that I do think that there are additional stress fight or flight type of responses, and that you might have a response that doesn't make sense to you. Hypersexuality when feeling in danger. So I guess that could probably fall under technically the fawn response, but I want to call it out specifically that, if you find yourself acting in ways that don't seem to integrate with how you're feeling, it could legitimately be a stress response in an urgent, critical, danger situation, that maybe your mind or your body is figured like this is the best way for us to deal with this and get out of this situation. And so often when victims are looking back and they're thinking like, why did I do this? And they don't necessarily have an explanation. To me, it could be we're in this stress response. We're in the fight or flight mode, and it happens to be maybe being hypersexual, maybe suddenly getting very, very sleepy, uh, maybe hysterical laughter. Anyway, I hope this makes sense, and I'll talk to you next time.